Well, good news and bad news. Good news is we're going to be doing ring fitting. Bad news is if you're doing a 996 or 7 and you buy the Mahles, these rings need to be fitted. So how do you know that? They give you a little installation guide right here. Tells you based on your bore size and what kind of, these are pretty standard numbers. Based on the application, what you're going to do, naturally aspirated, high performance street, circle track, nitrous race, turbo, supercharged, diesel, whatever. It gives you an idea. So you take your top ring, second ring, and then your oil ring, right? So top, second, oil, that's top ring land. The ring would be the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3, right? So you need to check the rails that we talked about last time for their minimums, right? And you need to, rail minimums right there. Then you need to check the second ring and the top ring. So we take a ring, we put it in the bore, like that. You square it in the bore with a squaring tool like this, kind of push it down all the way around like that, and it sets the ring at this depth, right? Or some guys use a caliper. I prefer the caliper to this, really. But if we look in the bore right here, that gap right there is no gap, right? There, see? So there should be, for every, see how it wants to kind of overlap right there? It's actually butting. So that's ring butt right there, which means the ends are butting together. It should be 4.5 thousandths per every inch of bore size, right? So, or bore times, not just per inch. So this is 3.896 times 0.0045 is like 17 thousandths on the rough side. 17 thousandths something. So you're going to get a feeler gauge. 15, 16, 17 thousandths. This is 17 to 19, right? And if we were to try to put it in that gap right there, there is no way that that will ever fit in that gap. So you have to take your ring out like that. Put it in a ring grinder like this. And then you adjust the size of your ring grinder. And you set the stops there and there. And then the lock here. And then this tells you how much you're going to grind away, right? So if we're going to take 17 off this ring, they're all going to need to be cut down, right? So you set up your ring grinder, you check, which I already did, and make sure in there, this is a grinding wheel right here. You make sure in there that it's grinding across the entire face and it's not missing anywhere, meaning the ring is not in here like this or like this, and all of a sudden you're taking this very squared edge right there and you're putting it at an angle or something. It's not what you want. You want the ends to stay perfectly square, right? Where's that? Oh, come on now. Because when it sits in the bore, right, the bore right here, and it gets compressed, the ring becomes compressed together. You want the ring end gaps to be like that, right? So it's like a little channel right there, right? That's probably about 17 is probably right around there. So anyways, if you have it in your grinder off, when you're grinding, you'll grind the angle here and there. And then these angles won't be a nice sharp edge butting up. It'll be, crooked. That's not what you want. Okay, so you turn this on, set your speed control, faster or slower, whatever. And then you watch the gauge, and you slowly bring this in with your finger. And you take, 5, about 9 thousandths. That's a good place to start. Release the lock. Pick the ring up gently. Bring it around out of here. This is a deburring. They call it a stone, but it's not a stone. It's like a almost like a nail file to knock the edges off your nails. I mean, I can pick at this wheel like that. It's a fiber wheel. And you're gonna, since we're cutting, right there, there's a sharp edge now. Can I see that sharp edge? Oh, you can kind of see it. So we need to knock that edge off, because that edge in the piston ring land, when we put it in, it's the top ring. Oh my goodness, trying to do this with one hand. When we put it in there, if the end, this end, oh well, it's hard to shoot, was right there inside, it would start cutting this groove, right? And it would wear that piston out prematurely. So anyways, yeah, you're not just going to be able to buy the pistons, get the block done, and pop them in. You're actually going to need to fit the rings to each barrel in the block, and then, you know, assign a barrel to a ring set and a piston, and then put it together at that time. So more to come. You know, you're going to have to buy more tools. They sell a hand grinder too, of those where it's got a little hand crank. So this wheel right here is turned by a hand crank. Yeah, it can be done, but I don't know. I've done it a lot before they made the electric ones. You know, that's how you had to do it. Or with files, which takes forever. All right, well, just one of the things engine builders charge you for, right? Stay tuned, like, subscribe. We're going to try to get this 3.8 liter back together. Next one's going to be a 4 or 4.5 liter, though. So that'll be pretty cool. All right, guys, take it easy.